All right, we're getting some breaking news now coming in on Good Evening India that the Chief Justice of India, R.M. Lodha, has expressed disappointment over Gopal Subramanium making that letter public. Remember, in that letter, he had withdrawn his candidature as a judge of the Supreme Court. Now, what we're learning from the Chief Justice of India is that he was abroad at that time and that he's saying that Gopal Subramaniam should have waited till he had returned and not made that letter public. Joining us now, our Chief Legal Correspondent Ashok Bagdia with more details. Ashok, just put this in context for us. What exactly has the Chief Justice of India said?
Well, there are two things, Arnodaya, which the Chief Justice of India said. Firstly, he hit out at the government. While hitting out at the government, he said that the government, the Chief Justice of India and the Collegium of the Supreme Court had forwarded 4 names of judges and lawyers to be nominated to the Supreme Court. But the Law Ministry and the Government of India on its own segregated 3 names and removed the name of Gopal Subramaniam without taking the Supreme Court into confidence. Number one, Chief Justice Lodha said that this came as a shock to him. Secondly, he also went on to say, and also hit out at Gopal Subramaniam, saying that Gopal Subramaniam was one of the senior advocates of the Supreme Court whose name was recommended for elevation to the Supreme Court. But before he could come back to India, Gopal Subramaniam withdrew his consent through a letter which was made public to the press, and Gopal Subramaniam should not have done this, and he should have at least waited for the Chief Justice to come back to India and could have talked about the issue. So these are 2 things on which the Chief Justice of India has expressed his views. He was saying this while addressing a public function on the retirement of Justice B.S. Chauhan.
Right. There's been much criticism by legal experts on the way this entire matter was handled. What is the Supreme Court Collegium expected to do then? Are they going to take this up with the government for the way in which the entire issue was handled?
Well, as far as Gopal Subramaniam is concerned, the Chief Justice of India has clarified that after he withdrew his consent, there was no question of considering his name for the judgeship of the Supreme Court. But as far as the 3 names which were segregated from that of Gopal Subramaniam, the Chief Justice of India or the Supreme Court cannot really do anything. But by saying these things out in public, the Chief Justice of India has hinted at the fact that the independence of the judiciary will not be compromised, in the sense that the Government of India cannot take the judiciary for a ride, and it cannot also interfere in the working of the judiciary. So it's a strong signal which has gone out from the Chief Justice of India to the Modi government.
Right. Strong words from the Chief Justice as well, saying that Gopal Subramaniam segregation was unilaterally done by the government without my knowledge and consent. That's what the PTI is reporting at this point.